What up, y'all? Thank you for joining. We got a live speak on it. Dom, Biv. It's been like a minute. Been a minute. Yeah, I mean that we hopped on probably a week or two. We had Mother's Day last weekend, so got a lot of stuff to happen. Just want to jump into it and get it rolling. Um, we're doing freestyle. You want? We got a lot. We got a lot that happen. Yeah, I mean I know you had the Dion. We had a playoff. Playing tournaments. We had draft that we really didn't talk about. Um, so yeah,
We could talk
you
about
want to start?
anything, bro. We could
All
talk
right.
about anything, bro. It don't even make me no difference.
I'm gonna tell you what it's funny. I was looking at it yesterday, and I was like, man, look at these MLB rankings. Look at all these where everybody is in the standings in the baseball.
Yeah,
I
it's
was
all over the place.
like, I was like, yo, can't. I was trying to go back to our notes, like, yo, who we picked. I was like, I think you said something about Boston.
I picked Toronto. I picked Toronto, and I think I picked Toronto to win the division. I think I picked the Yankees to be a wild card.
Hmm.
I did not see Boston coming out like this. And it looks like they might be able to sustain this. Like their pitching staff has really been solid. So I don't know. I know
Yeah,
the Dodgers struggling, the Padres struggling, the NL East. It still look like anybody can win that division for sure. That's for sure. I don't know who's gonna win that division. I'm a Braves fan. You're a Phillies fan, but we it looks like Phillies and the Braves do the same thing. They beat the teams that they sweep teams they ain't got no business sweeping, and then they'll come and lose a series to a team they ain't got no business losing a series to. So
yeah. Listen, I, I was pissed. I was pissed in our series. I ain't gonna lie to you. I was like, I bet we on the roll. We about to sweep the Braves. Like, yeah, I mean, so yeah, like you said, man, this joint crazy. I'm like I said, the Cardinals. I think we was a little high on the Cardinals. Like you was high on the Cardinals. You know what I mean? Because they got um uh
Nolan.
Nolan Arenado. He proving his worth right now. Like you
Hmm.
look at where the where the Cardinals are. You look at where the Rockies are, and I'm like, yo, when they
Proofs
gonna
in the
release my
pudding.
man Trevor? When they gonna release my man Trevor Story? You know what I mean? Get him out here. But
It's only a matter of time. I feel like.
so, like you said, Rockies. Padres struggling, Dodgers struggling. Team I'm looking at that surprise two teams, the Giants.
Mhm.
Like yo, the Giants is 23-15. That's atop of the National League. You got, like you said, the Red Sox, top of the American League.
Yep. And
Oh,
again,
no, actually, no, the White Sox are top of the American League.
I don't think too many people seen the. Again, I watched a lot of preseason predictions. I did not see many people high on the Red Sox. So
Nope. I think I picked them to finish last.
I can say this at least. I know I was not high on the Red Sox.
Yeah. Nope. Listen, if you was high on the Red Sox and you live in Boston, you lying.
I was not high on the Red Sox. I did not see this coming at all. But hey,
So yeah,
hopefully they keep it up.
that's our baseball. That's um our baseball segment for just to kick that thing off. I just wanted to get incorporated into the show because, like you said, we ain't talked baseball in a while. We picked our preseason predictions, and it's looking crazy out here. Like you said, it's all over the place. It's all over the place. Yeah, I mean, I'm pissed at the Giants. The Giants is doing good because they got Gabe Kapler. So, yep.
Yeah, man. Baseball has been really, really interesting in the short period of time that it's been going. But we all know June, July, we'll start seeing teams start to separate themselves from the pack if they can. So hopefully Boston can keep this up and make that really, really interesting in the AL East. And let me shout out the Orioles, man. The Orioles was playing really, really good baseball, and being on Delmarva, everybody that I know is pretty much a O's fan. So I'm gonna give the Orioles some love. And they were playing really good baseball. They're still playing good baseball. They're not getting the wins that they were getting at one point, but you can definitely see they're probably a year or two away from truly competing for the AL East.
Yeah, sure. Um, I had a question I was going to ask. Because Russ just broke the triple double record, and I'm gonna ask a question, two part with Russ, but it made me start thinking about what is the toughest thing to do. Um, have a perfect QBR in football, to get a quadruple double in basketball, no headers in baseball. Which one you think is the hardest one?
Mm. Oh man, you said a quadruple double?
Quadruple double, because
Quadruple double. Oh man.
and I don't listen. Sorry, hockey fans. I don't know what y'all um
Yeah, I
y'all
don't
y'all
know.
think
I mean, I know a hat trick is 3 goals. After that, I don't know what they call it after that. But that perfect QBR, that perfect QBR is tough because so many things can go wrong, and you're so reliant on so many other people. Same thing with I guess if you need a no hitter or if you have to throw if you throw a perfect game or
perfect game.
or no hitter or whatever, you need a lot of things to go right in that scenario. The quadruple double, that's 4 categories. That's 4 categories of double figures, which means more than likely you had to get you had to get 10 on the defensive end, whether that be blocks or steals. I'm not gonna be a homer and everybody, oh, you had to pick basketball. I'm gonna go with the perfect QBR. I'm gonna go with the perfect QBR because I drop here, drop there, gets into it goes. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Same thing with the perfect game. You can have a perfect game with errors. You know what I mean? You just can't walk nobody, but the guy can hit the ball, routine grounder the second. You know what I mean? He kick it around. You still in the running for a perfect game. You had 5 or 6 passes dropped. that completion percentage start coming down. Nah, that Q. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with the QBR.
See, toughest one. I'm gonna say this, and as crazy as this sounds, I think the easiest one is a quadruple double because it's so individual. Like you said, it's assists. Yeah, um, I feel like you can walk into 10 assists nowadays. I just do.
Let's not get into that. I don't want to get into that. I don't want to. I don't want
Listen,
to start. I don't want to start diminishing errors. But when
listen.
dudes
It's a
are
part.
when dudes are shooting wide open threes,
That's a part two of my question. I was going to ask you, like, so to answer you. So I think that I do agree with you. I think that the perfect QBR is probably the hardest one because you got so many things that can go wrong, especially with drops, stuff like that. So I agree with you. Um, you got to have, like I said, perfect passer rating. So I think it's only been done like 2, 3 times, but the quadruples only doubles only been done a couple times. Also, yeah, I mean, so um, and it seemed like this year proving us wrong. Like no hitters and perfect games. They rolling these things out like 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 the candy. I mean, so
Like they quality starts.
so yeah, I think that the perfect game. I mean, the perfect passer rating is probably the hardest one. Now to this Russell Westbrook thing. Um, not taking nothing away from Russ. Yeah, I mean he's doing his thing. He's on a historic pace. Um, but I just think that Oscar's era was tougher to do the triple he did than Russ's era, in my opinion. Again, not diminishing what Russ is doing, but I think that um, Oscar's era to what he did to have those triple doubles and that era was a little bit tougher than it is in this era.
Why?
I just think that well, one, Russ played with a lot of athletes this era. Two, this era, you see more of a stat driven era. Like James Harden triple doubles, Luka triple doubles, um, Jokic triple doubles, um, Sabonis triple doubles. Like from center to point guard, they're more skilled, they're more athletic. They are they focus more on trying to do that. And listen, I seen the game. Being real with you, and again, I ain't watched all Oscar Robertson tape, so maybe he did this. But I seen the game where James Harden needed one more rebound to get this triple double. He was conscious of it. His teammate about to get the triple double. He looked at my man, about to grab the rebound. He looked at him. His teammate said, "Oh, all right." Like, I just think that they're more conscious of it now.
Because it's on the big screen in the middle of the stadium. It's up there. I think Russ had a triple double or came close to a triple double in the first half, like last week. And you can see him looking up there like, man, almost had it. So I think somebody like missed a shot or something like that. Otherwise, he would have got the triple double in the first half. So yeah, they're definitely more conscious of it. I'm with you too on, you know, playing with better athletes, playing with better shooters, more skilled basketball players than of course, Big O played with in the '60s. Well, I don't know. I don't know if I would say it's easier. I'd say it's more common. I would say it's more common, but I don't know if I would say easier just because it's hard. Like it's hard, and I still say I think I think James goes out to try to get triple doubles. I think Russ just gets him in the midst of how he plays. You know what I mean? Like the way he plays, he's going after the ball every time it hits the rim. He's going after it. He pushes the ball in transition. He's trying to get easy buckets, whether it be for himself or for his teammates. So, and nowadays, so many guys just dominate the ball. Like when a guy has the ball in his hand for 17 seconds out of a 24-second clock, like yeah, they should be getting a whole lot of stats, especially assists and points. So
Yeah, I agree with you. A little more spacing, also.
wider floor here.
Yeah, and not knocking Russ. What he's doing is great. Two questions I have with you about Russ, because Russ made a comment before, but last time we talked, Scott Brooks made a comment last time we talked, and I got to ask you both. I got to talk to you about both of them. Ask you a question about both of them. Scott Brooks said Russell Westbrook is the second best point guard of all time. One, is he on drugs? But two, do you agree?
No, I don't agree that Russell West. I don't even think Russell Westbrook. One, I don't think he's a point guard. He plays that position on the floor. They put that beside his name. They put PG beside his name, but I don't think he's a point guard. But anyway, if you want to call him a point guard, no, he's definitely not. I wouldn't even put him in my top five because people love numbers. They want to throw all the numbers out. He's done this. He's did that. But at the same time, as a point guard, if we're going to be judging him on a point as a point guard, we also have to take in enough an effect his impact on the game down the stretch. He turns the ball over down the stretch. He makes a lot of bad decisions down the stretch, whether it be turning overs or bad shot selection. That has to be factored in. We're not just going to be enamored with the box score at the end of the game, and we're not going to talk about, the 48 minutes that he played in that game. He makes a lot of mistakes. So it's not his fault. It's just the way he plays. You're going to have to deal with it. That's how he plays. He's going to play 100 miles per hour, even when the game needs to be slowed down. And he needs to make sure that he takes care of the ball and get the best shot for his team. So for me, his decision making down the stretch, especially in big playoff games, I couldn't put him in that high on my list as a point guard just because of his decision making.
I agree with you. I, I don't even know if I have Russ in my top 10, just based off of what you just said, right? Um, Russ played with a lot of talent, a lot of talent. Um, so they won a lot of games. Point guards, to me, I think are get judged just like quarterbacks, win losses, the impact that you have on your team. I think Russ, he played with Kevin Durant, who they went to one finals. They was in a position to win another finals, and then collapses at the end. And we see who had the ball in the hand collapses at the end, and we've seen his own record. Kevin Durant calling for the ball, Russell Westbrook not giving him the ball on record. Um, he's also played with Paul George, where we see the same thing collapses, and this not collapses like um, second round collapses. This collapses in the first round. Rookie Donovan Mitchell. Yeah, I mean collapses to um, um, uh, the Blazers and Damian Lillard. And again, these not even close games. These not even close series. They getting bounced 4-1. Donovan Mitchell beat them 4-1, or I think 4-2. Then the Blazers beat them 4-1. Like this is Russell teams that are led by Russell Westbrook. Then go to Houston, got James Harden. Albeit they did run up against the Lakers, another 4-1 first round exit. And then we get to Washington, where you thought that was going to be a super good backcourt, super like we thought that team was going to be put them. Yeah, I mean, at least fight for a home court. It took them like a 20 game stretch to get where they are right now.
With him playing out of his mind. Out of his mind.
So yeah. Like I said, I love Brody. I just don't know if he is and what you said, like maybe he's not a point guard, but that's where they have him at. But I don't know if he is that caliber player. You know what I mean? That everybody wants to put him in. He also said he's the best playmaker in the game. Best playmaker in the game.
What's a playmaker?
Yeah, I will have to.
That's the question that we have to ask. Is what's a playmaker?
To me, the best playmaker in the game. It's tough. Yeah, I mean, I give 5. That off the top of my head. Yeah, I mean, because they all gonna do it different ways.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean, so of course LeBron is gonna be in the top 5 playmakers. Jokic is gonna be in the top 5 playmakers. Steph Curry is gonna be in my top 5 playmakers. Um, the Don, Luka the Don, he's gonna be in my top 5 playmakers. And I have to give it to. I have to put Russ in there. I do because he does make plays. I'm gonna take somebody out. I'm gonna take Luka out, and I'm gonna put James Harden in there because what he does for his team.
So who you got in there again?
Bron, Steph, James, Jokic. I got to throw. I'm gonna throw Russ in there.
No disrespect to Russ, or really, I'm gonna be honest with you. Anybody on that list that's not named LeBron James, but I gotta put Chris Paul in there. Um, and I'm going to go on a little bit off on the left, but Chris Paul, my MVP, and I know his numbers aren't going to jump off the screen to anybody, but this reminds me a lot of the year, I think it was 2002 with Tim Duncan and Jason Kidd, where Jason Kidd was in Phoenix, traded to New Jersey. The Nets went from a subpar team to the best team in the East and made a run to the NBA Finals. Now, Tim Duncan's numbers were better than Jason Kidd, but Tim Duncan had a team that was built around him. Jason Kidd just was added to a roster and completely changed the whole dynamic of that team. Jokic has a team built around him. Chris Paul was just thrown into Phoenix, and Phoenix went from scraping to get into the bubble to being the 2 seed, possibly the 1 seed in the West. For me, it's Chris Paul, and again, that's why I'm like, man, when it comes to playmaking, I got to put Chris Paul in there, man. He's made a lot. He like Steve Nash. Steve Nash got a lot of people paid. Chris Paul got some people paid, man. David West, Tyson Chandler, Blake Griffin, DeAndre Jordan, like those guys was getting huge checks. And Blake Griffin, out of all the guys I just named, he was going to be a superstar anyway. But we can't pretend that it didn't help him playing alongside Chris Paul. So that's just how I feel about Chris Paul, man, and why I feel like he should be the MVP.
Yeah, I wanted to throw Chris Paul on the list. I just think Chris Paul is he's a playmaker, not knocking him. But for what the other ones do, Chris Paul's smaller, so he don't really rebound like them. He don't really get the triple doubles like that, like those players would. And I know Steph don't get triple doubles, but what Steph does, moving without the ball, on ball, you know what I mean, the spacing he creates plays for everybody on this team. Now, for me, Russell Westbrook is the one that's on the list to me that doesn't make his teammates better. That's just my personal opinion. I don't think Russell Westbrook makes his teammates better. I think his individual greatness is what helps the team, but I don't know if he makes his teammates better. And it's evident we're talking about the collapses and him having to pull out of holes. So yeah, those are my thoughts on that. Moving along, let's talk about the draft real quick. Thoughts on it? I know your team. There are 2 things I love. Want to get your opinions on it. Well, actually, they did a couple things I love, but in the first round, I love their 2 first-round picks. And how you feel about what y'all did and where you think that that helps y'all catapult y'all.
I don't think nothing changed. Honestly, we could go get Julio Jones, OBJ, and Antonio Brown. But if we still got the same offensive coordinator calling the same plays with the same passing scheme and all of that, it doesn't matter. So, do I like Rashawn? Absolutely, I love that pick. I love the pick. I didn't. It wasn't an Ozzie draft. I think Ozzie would have probably did a better job. I thought there were some some opportunities to get some pass rushers that we missed. But overall, I felt like we did a solid job in the draft. But for me, it don't matter who we sign in free agency. It don't matter who we draft. It's gonna be how we manage ourselves on the field, play calling, clock management. That those are the types of things that is going to separate us. Is going to make us better. I think adding more weapons for Lamar, that's fine. You know, getting uh, solidifying offensive line, great. You know, but it's the guys on the side. It's the guys on the sideline with the hats that are worried about more than what we do on the field. But I thought the draft. I thought the draft was. I thought it was a good draft for us.
Yeah, I think the draft. I love the draft, which y'all did again. Getting Sean Wade in the fourth, getting Jason Owe that second first rounder. Like you said, getting Rashad Bateman, getting Bing the guard from Georgia, so they said solidify an offensive line. Even with the off season, getting pulling the waiver from Pittsburgh Steelers, you know what I mean, to help with the run game. Getting Zittler. Um, but I'm with you. Y'all had Devin Duvernay last year. Y'all had Miles Boykins. Y'all got Miles Boykins last year. Yeah, I mean, got from the third round. The year before. So like y'all have tight ends for days. Yeah, I mean, y'all got another one. Like so, um, if y'all not saying that you can't run the ball, but you handicap Lamar if that's the only thing that he does. You handicap the team if that's the only thing that y'all do. Y'all ran the ball um like head and shoulders above anybody else last year. I think they had like 1,000 more rushing yards than the next best person. That's not going to get it. That's not going to win you game. The teams that y'all want to beat, the Chiefs, the Bills, maybe the Colts this year, maybe Tennessee because they're adding to their game as well. Shoot, let's stay in the division. The Browns, y'all got to evolve. The offense has to evolve. Allow my man, like they said, let Russ cook last year. Let Lamar cook. Let Lamar cook. He has other weapons. Y'all have weapons in there. Y'all got a plethora of wide receiver. And y'all just got my man high school wide receiver. Why? I don't know, but I just got my man high school wide receiver. So he got weapons, plethora of tight ends, plethora of running backs, a plethora of wide receivers. Like you said, now it's the offensive mind. And I don't think y'all got it in Greg Roman. I don't know if his mind goes to that level. So I'm with you.
Yeah, we're gonna see how it goes, man. We're gonna see how it goes.
Now, my Eagles draft, right? Got Devontae Smith. Love it. Couple of other picks that I thought was questionable, but then I look at it when I look at them, I do love the picks. I just don't know if they were right now picks, but I do like the drafting of the Landon Dickinson. I do like drafting the drafting of Milton Williams. I do like the picks what the Eagles did. You know what I mean, where it positions us, don't know, but I do think that my Eagles will have a decent season. And when we get close to that, I guess we'll do our picks and figure out where that will be. Um, Let me ask you this. Who do you think off season wise, um, after the draft, who do you think made the biggest leap in the NFL to maybe make a run to win the Super Bowl? And who do you think is a surprise team that um, may get in that we may not be thinking about?
That's tough. That's tough. Um, a team that could possibly make a run to the Super Bowl. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. After the offseason, I am really intrigued with the Patriots. I'm just being real. I'm really intrigued with them. Like they went and added a lot of pieces. Now those pieces got to come together and everything, but I am interested to see how that works for them. Um, then because they drafted who did they draft at
They
quarterback?
draft Mac
They,
Jones.
they drafted Matt, right? Okay, so you drafted Matt. There was rumors that they were interested in Jimmy.
Jimmy. Hmm.
So I feel like Bill's got a lot not to prove, but I think he's got a chip on his shoulder. You know what I mean? Tom left him won a Super Bowl first year without him. And then Tom put it out there. Julian really, he don't really want to retire. He really just want to come to Tampa, but he don't know how to tell Bill that. So I think they're putting a little bit of fuel on the fire. And so the Patriots is a team that I think can make a run. Um, I'm gonna stay in our division, and I know Raven fans are gonna hate this, but I think the Browns are legit. Sorry. So I think they can make a run. I think the surprise team in the entire league. uh, Carolina, maybe.
Like Carolina.
I like I tell you what, if Sam Darnold can't be successful there, I don't know what to say. Like he's probably got the maybe not the best, but at least the most dynamic running back, arguably
I agree.
in the entire league. He's got decent weapons on the outside. Weird that he's teaming up with a couple of guys that he had in New York with the Jets as well. But anyway, um, but I like Carolina. I think that they if Sam Donald is who he was drafted to be, I can see them making a push for the playoffs, especially in that division. We don't know we don't know what's going to happen in that division. Outside of Tampa Bay, we don't know what's going to happen in that division. Are the Saints going to still be the Saints? We don't know. We don't know. And Atlanta, I know it was hard to not pick Kyle Pitts. I know it was really difficult not to pick Kyle Pitts. He was sitting right there. But do you really need another weapon when you have me, Dom, Taman, and the rest of the guys from the Speak On it from a few years ago playing defense? Like, dude, like address your defensive needs. Like,
Yeah.
so, but yeah, Carolina, I kind of like what they were. I kind of like what the all season that Carolina had.
I like that Carolina pick. To me, surprised but not surprised. Not run. Um, I think the Chiefs are set up to make a run. I know that's like, oh, what is the Chiefs? It's the Chiefs. But what they did, man, like they solidified that offensive line. They got an all pro tackle from y'all. They brought in another tackle. They brought my man out of retirement. They just took a corner from. They just grabbed the corner from the Vikings. Um, they got an all pro guard. They signed a free agency from the Patriots. Yeah, I mean, so and then they bring back almost everybody. Yeah, I mean, so that Chiefs. Okay, I know that. I mean, they're like you like. Well, that's everybody picked the Chiefs to go to the Super Bowl next year. Yeah, I mean, so that's not really saying much. Yeah, I mean, okay. I'll give you another one. A team that I think that could make a run. It's the Bucks. They are too, but they brought everybody back, which is crazy. But I'm not gonna say them either. Um, Bills. I know I decided on them last year. I know y'all like, well, that's an obvious choice as well. I like what they did pass rushing. They solidified some pass rushers. Um, they got a running game now. They brought Matt Breida in. I think that they are going to challenge the Chiefs for that spot. Um, again, I can go to Ravens. I can start naming a bunch of people, player contenders. But I'm gonna give y'all a team that I think will make a run, and it's the Chargers. What is that? Like y'all gonna say, well, they could be a surprise team, maybe. But if you watch the Chargers last year, they were 7-9. They
Should have
blew
been probably should have been 10-6.
they blew 4 16-point leads, 4 of them. Like you said, they could be 10-6, 11-5 last year.
They should have been 10-6 at worst last year.
So Chargers is a team I think that they can make a run. They solidify the offensive line. They got some weapons from my man Justin Herbert, and he just off of experience, he's gonna get better. So them surprise team. I don't know the Cardinals. You can call them a surprise team, but I like what they did in the offseason. Added J.J. Watt, getting Chandler Jones back, getting some weapons. So I got them. Colts, again, don't know if they're going to be a surprise team, but I think that they will be better because they added weapons. Surprise team. Is the Jags going to be? Is the Jags surprise team? Because I think the Jags make a lot of noise. I think they got a lot of weapons. They brought in, of course, Trevor Lawrence. They brought in Travis Etienne with him. Got a couple of weapons for him in the offseason. He already had weapons there. So the Jags. But here's my real surprise team: the Broncos. I think the Broncos are a quarterback away, like legit. They get Aaron Rodgers, they will compete in that. They will compete in that division. I hear people say, well, even if they get Aaron Rodgers, they still the 4th best team in their division. I don't think so. I think if they get Aaron Rodgers, they can compete for the number one to be the number 1 team in that division. That defense is stacked. The offense is stacked. It's the quarterback.
I agree. That's a tough division, especially with Vegas coming. They're gonna be better. The Chargers are definitely gonna be better, and the Chiefs are they're Chiefs. So that's a tough division. That's a tough division, man. It's almost scary to think that one of them probably not gonna make the playoffs.
Yeah, which is crazy.
So
here's the thing: is there's 7 teams that make the playoffs now, right? 7 teams. It'd be crazy if they get Aaron Rodgers. If the Broncos get Aaron Rodgers, could that whole division make the playoffs? 17.
Somebody not making it. I believe the AFC East is gonna get 2 teams. I believe the AFC North gonna get 2 teams. The AFC South gonna get 2
The
teams.
AFC South gonna get 2. Maybe.
I think Indy and Tennessee should get in there.
I don't know what the Titans defense is gonna look like. So I
agree. I agree with you. I don't know what the defense is gonna look like. I agree.
Yeah, the Titans defense. They got rid of almost their whole secondary.
They had to. They were terrible.
So but I'm with you. The Titans. I can see that.
I just think, again, if you can run the football, you can win. You can win games, and they can run the football. It's just a matter of honestly.
That they do. They can run football.
That's what's crazy about them. And if Ryan Tannehill is going to continue to play at the level that he played at last year, then I feel like they got a shot in every game. It's just whether or not they're going to be able to play some defense. But I do like the AFC West, especially if the Broncos can get a quarterback. That division is going to be competing with their NFC counterpart, the NFC West, for the best division in football.
Yeah, I agree with you.
That division's tough. Gonna be tough from top to bottom. I don't see where there's a weak link in that division. I just
I'm with you.
yeah. So back over to basketball quick before we start getting to some other stuff. He's playing game Tuesday. I want to say. Yeah, I think the playing games start Tuesday. LeBron made some comments, and that we haven't talked about since we've been that I thought was maybe LeBronish. I don't know. But he said whoever came up with the playing games was dumb. I think it's or something like along those lines.
Mm-hmm.
Would he have said this if they were the number one seed?
No, he wouldn't have said it if he was the number one seed, and he wouldn't have said it if he had checked his tweets too, because it was kind of he kind of initiated the idea that the teams in the lower seeds should play one another to see who gets to the last spot. So again, if you don't want to have it going forward, cool, I got no problem with it. I think it's a good thing to play in games. You know what I mean? But if you don't want to have it moving forward, fine. But they needed it this year. There were so many teams that had, important guys miss stretches of time because of COVID. So I understood why they have it this year. If you don't want to have it going forward, fine. But LeBron, you didn't say anything about the play-in system until you were going to be a part of the play-in system. So you didn't have a problem with it until you were going to have to participate in it. And let's be real, the only reason you're participating in it is because you and AD have been hurt pretty much all year. Either you were healthy and he was hurt, and now you're hurt and he's healthy. So that's the only reason you're there. But you're there. Just make sure you take care of business. If you have to be there, you still got time to not be in there. You still got a couple of games. Portland looks like they don't want to get the 6th seed, so you might as well go ahead and just take it from them because they got it. Let's be real. And to me, and I'm getting off topic right now, but this was the difference this is why Steph is better than Dame. They went through the same stretch. They both had to play Utah and Phoenix. Steph went 2-0. I think Dame went 1-1. Case closed. And they both needed it. They knew what time it was of the year. They needed it. Steph got it done. Dame couldn't. Sorry. And I'm a Dame fan.
Here's the thing about it, right? Real quick. Like you said, well, playing games. I think I'm with you. I think if LeBron's not there, he's not saying nothing because he didn't talk about it last year. We had the same.
He said about all year.
We had the same playing game last year, like you said. We knew all this year the playing games was going to be the playing games. You have all season, all year to talk about how you felt about the playing games, that whether you liked it or if you didn't. Now that your team is there, now we hear you talking about it. And let's be real, like you said, the initiating his main guy, CP3, is his baby. His CP3's right hand man in the union, LeBron James. He's the VP. You mean to tell me that you didn't have a say or a hand in the playing games, LeBron?
Yeah.
So yeah,
the same thing with Mark Cuban. Like you said something dumb about the playing game after you signed off on it. So like,
yeah, it's because now you ain't listen. Mark Cuban that 5 seed. You ain't hear. I ain't hear.
He ain't saying nothing about him and Luka. He ain't saying nothing about playing games no more.
Like you said, so if you don't want to play in games, if you don't want to be in the playing games, play well enough to not get there.
Avoid them.
And if you're a dominant team based on, if you're a team like the Lakers, who just been hit with injuries, and you're in that playing game, go win the game.
And let's be real. And I'm not taking anything from Utah or Phoenix, but don't neither one of them scare me.
Remember, I'm gonna tell you what's crazy about this, right? No, it wasn't. It was Dallas. It was Dallas that got knocked off. But it was Golden State who actually did the knocking off. AC 1 seed.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna tell you this: if Golden State is the 8th seed, Utah they play Utah now number 1 seed. Utah don't want to see that. I just don't. I actually don't think Phoenix want to see them either. I think
Golden State. If it was one game, I'd be with you. But I don't trust those others that's
I'm with
playing with
you.
Steph to get him 3 more, to get him at least 2 wins. He'll get 2. He'll get 2 by himself. He can get 2 games by himself, but he's gonna need those others.
You need the other 2. I got you.
He's gonna need Jordan Poole and Kelly Oubre and Andrew Wiggins. He's gonna need those guys to step up and get a game or 2 for him to beat Phoenix or Utah. And then that's if Utah, because is Donovan gonna be ready for the first round?
I don't know.
If Donovan ain't ready, I'm taking Golden State. I don't care. I don't care about the others then. I just don't. I don't trust the rest of Utah squad without Donovan. But if Donovan's there, I'm gonna take Utah. I'll take Utah in 7.
Which is okay. That's cool. Which is scary.
I'll take Utah in 7.
Which is like I'm like, see, I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna say this right now. If it goes 7, I got trust Babyface. I got trust him.
Not in Utah.
Yeah, I gotta trust him. they don't want to go 7.
Not in Utah. Not in Utah. Not in Utah.
Yeah.
The rest won't allow it in Utah.
Yeah, I gotta trust it. But yeah, like I said, listen, I'm not picking the Warriors to win a series. But people are scared. People will be scared when 30 steps in your gym. I won't pick the Warriors to win a series if they play Utah with Donovan Mitchell. Other than that, I could pick them. I could pick them against Phoenix. With everybody healthy. Phoenix just does not. They do not scare me. They just don't. And the guy that's probably, Devin Booker's phenomenal, but the most dangerous guy on the floor is still going to be 30. I agree. I think the most dangerous guy on the floor in the Utah series is still 30.
I would agree, but Utah's got more snipers. They got more snipers than Phoenix. Like you got to worry about you like Joe Ingles, Bogdanovich, Jordan Clarkson, who's going to win the 6th Man of the Year. Like
Mike Conley.
Like Mike Conley. Like they got more weapons.
More. I got you.
They got more weapons. Where Phoenix, this is just again, not taking anything away from Devin Booker, DeAndre Ayton, or nothing. This is just the Chris Paul effect. Let's just be real. Without Chris Paul, I still think Phoenix is pushing for a playoff. I mean, a playing game. That's where they're at. But you add Chris Paul, and now they're a top 2 seed. So, yeah, 30 can beat them.
I'm with you. So, yeah. I wanted to say this real quick, too. I think that in any series, 30 is probably the most dangerous person on the court in any series. It's just that he doesn't have a
He just don't have anybody else with him that's even close to being that type of danger.
Yeah.
Like literally, and I'm not, again, depending on who the big is, I'd double team Steph.
Easy.
2 people.
Boxing one. Just like
two people. Hey, you and you. Here, just go there. If he looks like he's getting ready to do something with the basketball, fouling.
Yep. Boxing one all game.
I refuse to be beat by him.
Yep. Well,
Andrew Wiggins, Kelly Oubre, one of y'all get ready to have to go for 40.
Go off. It's crazy. He been doing that all season. He's still been doing it. But I get it. It's the playoffs, and I'm with you. You gotta do it for four straight games. You gotta do it for 4 games, Steph. 4 games. He almost did it in Toronto.
Yeah.
Almost did it. Missed the shot. Almost into game 7. But listen, it's gonna be tough for Steph. It's gonna be tough. Crazy thing. Then we talk about some other games in the playoffs. Speaking about Golden State gonna have a goddamn top 4 pick next year. Crazy, because the Timberwolves keep winning, and that pick is only top 3 protected. Timberwolves are like the 4th worst team in the NBA right now. Golden State gonna be loaded next year, bro. Loaded. Getting Clay back, having a top 4 pick, which can be
anybody at this point.
Anybody right now.
Because they don't even like. There's no clear number 1 pick in my opinion.
Not one.
There's 6 or 7 guys that could definitely go number 1. So
and still compete for Rookie of the Year. Like
this draft is gonna be deep.
Deep draft.
This draft is gonna be deep.
And to me, I'm like, what do Golden State need? I'll tell you this: if Golden State can get Evan Mobley, that'll be scary for Golden. That'll be scary for the league.
Except for him, I don't trust him.
Evan Mobley?
Yeah, I don't trust him.
I get you. I get it. But his talent is there. Like you said.
He go to USC, right?
USC, yeah.
Remember there was this guy that went to USC that everybody was hyped on. You had heard about him since he was 8th grade. His name is OJ Mayo.
He out here cooking people now. I don't know where. I can't remember where it was.
His name is OJ Mayo. And Evan Mobley gives me the same vibe. Like the talent is undeniable, but he looks like he just be going through the motions. And it's like Andrew Wiggins, that light switch, will it ever truly come on?
Yeah.
And where he will just be a dominant basketball player that he's capable of being.
I just like the pairing of James Wiseman and Evan Mobley.
That would be scary.
If they both can reach their talent and that pairing,
that'd be scary. You ain't got to worry about, again, Golden State has great fortune. I don't know. They must be paying really good tithes to whatever church they affiliate with. Because
it's the Mark Jackson effect. They got Mark Jackson, so they gotta.
Like the things that they fall into, it's crazy. Like I know people was talking about some Steph needs to get away from there. That the window to win a championship is closed in Golden State, and I'm like, bro, like they're almost Boston of the West, where they probably had too many guys. But that's Boston's problem. They have too many people and not enough balls. That's Boston. Danny Ainge did too good of a job as a GM. He accumulated too many picks and too many players. It's just real.
And they start moving people to fill that out. So I'm with you.
Yeah, he's got to start moving guys to get guys to fit around Jalen and Jason. I think the Kemba Walker trade or signing, whatever it was good on paper, but it has not translated to being a good move on the basketball court.
The issue with that was they did not expect Jaylen Brown to be this good.
Mm-hmm. And that's the truth. They did not expect him to make this leap offensively. They were thinking he was going to be at best a 3-and-D guy.
That's what it is. That's why now because it was like Kemba, Jason. Those are our 2 best players. Oh, wait a minute. And Jaylen Brown like nah, bro.
Like nah.
I'm
still
probably
here.
The best player on this team.
like yeah, that duo, especially with their size and their athleticism, they could be on some Kawhi, PG, Jordan, Pippen, where they can dominate both ends of the floor.
I agree.
You know what I mean? With their size and athleticism, and both of them can score. Both of them can put the ball on the floor. Like Boston's got something there, but they're gonna have to make some moves to get some guys out of there that don't fit what it is that they're trying to do.
I agree with you. They got to build around those 2. Yeah, I mean, build around those 2 and figure that out. Then Boston, I think, will be straight. But yeah, back to the Golden State thing, man. Yeah, it's crazy. And to me, people saying, "Well, they window." I think Steph has proven that their window is still open, maybe possibly for a couple more years, depending on what Clay come back, depending on what James Wiseman come back,
Yeah.
depending on what they do with that number, whatever pick they have in the draft. Do they flip it? For me, I wouldn't flip it. I would just take the person. What did they do? Yeah, their window next year, they could possibly be in. They're gonna be competing for a number 1 seed next year.
If Clay's fully healthy,
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. If he's fully
because as much as we, what I mean, well, like I say we, as much as people, including myself, get on Draymond, Draymond's been solid.
he don't
He's been
score,
solid.
but
He's been solid, man. He's been Draymond, and when Clay comes back, he'll be even more Draymond.
yeah,
Because he'll be less scoring responsibilities for him, and he can really just go out,
and
play
do
defense, put guys in the right position, and make sure that everybody's where they're supposed to be. So, yeah.
listen, the tutelage that he's gonna give he gives James Wiseman. He comes back, James Wiseman's gonna be better. Like the Golden State is gonna be loaded next year. It's gonna be crazy scary. Look at the playing games real quick. I'm excited about the playing games start Tuesday. Sticking with Golden State, I'm gonna make a bold prediction real quick. Portland or the Lakers will not be in the playoffs. Past the play-in. Portland or the Lakers will not be in the playoffs past the play-in.
Well, it's probably gonna be Portland because LA's gonna win these two games. They're gonna win these two games. They got the Pacers today and the Pelicans tomorrow. So they're gonna win those two games. They're gonna get to the 6th seed, and they're gonna avoid the play-in. Portland. I don't think. I think Steph will be. Steph, if they play Golden State and they don't have if they play Golden State, Portland loses that game. But if they get Memphis, I think they can beat Memphis, even though Memphis is playing really good ball right now.
Well,
But I think they can get Memphis.
they got two chances to get in. 2 chances.
Oh.
This is why I think that if Portland won't make it. Portland has Denver next. They only got one more game left. They got Denver.
Mm-hmm.
I think they lose that game. So I do think that they go to the 7th seed. Which means they'll play Golden State in the playing game. I think Golden State going to beat them in the playing game. Then I think they go to Memphis in the playing game.
Well, I mean, Memphis and Golden State right now they're tied.
Mm-hmm.
So that could go either way. So if Memphis finishes 8th and Golden State finishes 9th, I think Portland can beat Memphis. And then they don't have to worry about having to play somebody else. Now, the scary thing is honestly San Antonio.
Yeah. I think
because you really don't know what you're gonna get from them.
Nope. Which is like you said, which is a scary thing. But I think they get knocked out. I think they lose to Memphis, or Golden State. I mean, that first in the playing game. I think this is how it plays. Golden State make the 8th seed. They play the Lakers or they play Portland. I think Golden State beats Portland. I think Memphis beats San Antonio, and I think Memphis remembers last year, and they're not gonna let Portland knock them out 2 years in a row. So I feel. So yeah, I think the playing game is gonna be awesome, man. I think it's gonna be great. The crazy thing is the biggest thing is who the freak is going to be the 8th seed in the East. Who makes it in the East? That's tough for me. I don't know. I don't I don't know.
Boston gets the 7th seed. Washington gets the 8th.
I don't think Boston get the 7th seed. Jaylen Brown out for the year.
But I think that helps them because now you don't have to worry about trying to get him involved offensively. Now, Kimball's tweaked again, so don't know if he's gonna be ready. But I'm gonna ride Jason, man.
That's
I'm
my
gonna
guy.
ride Jason. I'm
My
gonna
guy.
ride Jason, man. I'm gonna ride Jason, and I'm gonna say Jason is good enough to beat Charlotte or Indiana, whoever they play for the 7th seed, because Indiana, Malcolm Brogdon has been out for a while. No Miles Turner, Karis LeVert banged up. Like I'm not buying Indiana and Charlotte. I don't know. I really just don't. I just really just don't buy them as far as being a team this year. I think they have a solid foundation to move forward if they can draft right. Because they're not going. If they can draft right and move guys, because you're not going to get free agents to come and sign to go and play in Charlotte. You know what I mean? So,
I got you.
but
This is what I think happens. I think Charlotte gets in, and I think Indiana gets in. I think Washington gets. I think. Well, here, this is what I say. If Malcolm Brogdon is there,
yeah,
and
if Malcolm Brogdon is healthy, he makes that Indiana team that much different.
yeah, if Malcolm Brogdon is there, I think that they can get in. Just that I like the team that they have there. It's just something about Russ, man. When games on the line, man, just something
When
about
you
like,
need him,
when you need him.
when you need him, I tell you, this is the thing. Bradley Beal got to be healthy. Bradley got to be. He ain't got to be 100%. He just got to be healthy, and Russ has got to trust him to make plays down the stretch. The ball does not need to be in Russ's hands down the stretch, man. I love Russ. I love Bruce,
Hey,
but the ball can't be in his hands down the stretch. I'm sorry.
hey, listen, Russ trusted one person with the ball in his hand down the stretch, and they lost. So I don't think Russ giving that ball up. He trusted James last year. It's just they ran up against the Lakers. I don't think he's giving that ball up. I just don't, man. And shoot, I don't trust Bradley Beal with the ball in the hands when you need him either.
Yeah, I feel you.
I don't. I mean, so
I feel you.
I listen, and let's be real. I don't trust what's they coach? I don't trust Scott Brooks.
I've been told you that guy. I don't know. Him and Stan Van Gundy still having jobs is crazy to me. I don't be understanding it. How do they still be having jobs? If Stan Van Gundy has not proved this year that he don't need to be a coach in the NBA, I don't know what other proof you need. The Pelicans took a step back.
Yep. They're
And
superstars.
you can blame Zion getting hurt at the end of the year. That's probably why they're not gonna make the playoffs. No. We're not gonna say that the last week is the reason why they're not gonna make the playoffs. Like the previous 4 or 5 months didn't happen. Like, no. This is Stan's doing, man. That team has been terrible all year.
90s basketball. Like, bruh, what purpose does Steven Adams serve on your team?
And they signed him to a nice long-term deal. Like, what? Doesn't even fit.
Why do we have all these guards on the team? Why do you still have Drew Bledsoe? I mean, Eric Bledsoe.
Yeah, that was.
What is like?
Yeah, they're playing 3-point guard lineups and stuff. Like, what is going on?
You know what? That sounds like a guy who know he got job security.
Yeah, I'm not going anywhere.
I'm out here going secret. Yeah. So I got. I think the playoffs are better with Boston in it, and Charlotte or Washington. Charlotte because LaMelo's gonna be must see TV.
Yeah,
people gonna tune in to see LaMelo,
especially for people that haven't been able to get a chance to see him this year.
Yeah, people gonna tune in to see Russ as well. If Indiana gets in, it's like, to me, Indiana gives Spurs vibes.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I think the playoffs will be better with Boston, Charlotte, or Washington in it. But for some reason, I think Indiana, because I heard that their coach is on the hot seat, he might get fired. They don't make it. Shoot, and I heard that the players probably don't like him, so they might tank anyway. I mean, they might not.
they might not want him to come back.
Yep. So, yeah, we'll see. Playoffs, I like the playoffs. Let's get to something you posted about the. Let's talk about that.
All right. So I was scrolling through, and I seen an article about Deion Sanders was gonna fail because of his ego. He was gonna fail to get, I guess, basically bring HBCUs up and to the forefront of college sports because of his ego. And initially, I was like, oh, okay. Then I read the article. And what was the most intriguing thing was it was a black man that wrote the article. And for me, it was weird because, one, it's Deion Sanders. His nickname is Primetime. I think he has an ego issue. But we knew that years ago. We knew that when he was playing college football. We knew that when he was an Atlanta Falcon. So I don't know what's changed from the late 80s, early 90s to 2021. But we knew that going in, that Deion is an egotistical guy. That's who he is. His nickname's Primetime. So for somebody to say that it was going to fail because of his ego, to me, that's stupid, because it's Deion Sanders. His ego was going to be an issue. But what made me really upset was another black man saying this. And here we are in the midst of everything that's going on with police and rioting and all of this stuff. We got two successful black men, and one decided to drag another one down as he is doing something to try to benefit the black community. To me, it was disheartening, man. It was sad. And it's annoying to think that you go through life having to worry about people killing you, most of the time people that look like you killing you, and then you survive that, you become successful, and here you are having to worry about another black man dragging your name through the mud as you're trying to do something to benefit the black community. The guy could have wrote an article about the 4 and 5 star caliber athletes that decided to go to HBCUs. He could have done a story about that. He could have done a story about the fact that what Deion was talking about, that the HBCUs are underrepresented in the draft. He could have wrote an article about that, but instead you chose to write a negative article about the black man that's trying to revitalize HBCUs, because at one point that's where the pro leagues had to go to get the black athletes, because they weren't allowed to go to the white universities, or what they call them, PWIs, whatever you want to call them. But they weren't allowed to go there, so they had to go there. So here's Deion trying to give those guys an opportunity, these kids an opportunity, and you're dragging him just because he is being himself. If you didn't think Deion Sanders had an ego problem before he started this I guess you could crusade or campaign or whatever to revitalize HBCUs, then that's on you. But to say that his ego was going to cause him to fail before he had even started, and then you see kids starting to make the transition to wanting to go to HBCUs, you're seeing other celebrities getting involved with trying to have showcases and put things together for HBCUs, and you're saying that it's going to fail, and you're a black man. I was pissed. I was pissed.
I would have a couple questions to ask this journalist. You know what I mean? That's I guess it really is. Report, whatever it is. Where did Deion go? College at? Seminoles. Okay, but I think they were good. He had the eagle there. Yeah, I mean you saw him. He had an eagle there. Where did he play in the NFL? Falcons. Yeah, I mean I think he was good there. Yeah, I mean. Then I think he went to San Francisco, won a championship there. Dallas, championship there. I think Ravens. He was there. I think he played for the Redskins a little bit, or watched the football team. Formerly known as the Redskins when he played. He was okay there as well. The point is that my man had ego. We know, and he's been successful. We've known him, and the crazy thing is that in order to be successful, you kind of have to have a little.
Yeah. Like,
I would say this: the guy that wrote the article, you got an ego too, brother. This is reading your article and writing. You ego to me is like you want to do things your way. Now you have an overly crazy ego where you're edging everybody out, but in order to be successful, you have to have a little bit of an ego. You have to be confident in what you're doing. And if as a head coach, if you want to do things your way, I want to go down as I'm doing it my way. That's part of it. That's part of having an ego. I don't think Deion Sanders is super arrogant. I don't think that he has an ego to the point where he's not gonna isolate or ostracize the people that he's put around him, because he did put a staff together. He put his own staff together, and then when you watch him with people, if you watch Deion with people, this with the kids. If you're watching with the kids, you can tell they want to play for him. You can tell he got their best interest. Nick Saban got an ego. Let's be real. Nick Saban got a huge ego.
Mm-hmm.
Winningest coach in football in college football history. Yeah, I don't hear you talking about him failing. Pete Carroll got an ego. I don't hear you talking about him failing. Reed, all these white coaches, they have egos. All coaches in general have egos. But I don't hear you talking about none of these people failing.
Yeah, it was crazy because I was reading the article, and he was talking about how Deion didn't care 3-4 years ago that the HBCU players weren't being drafted into the NFL, and I'm like, okay, so what? He didn't care then. He cares now. That's all that shit matters, is that he cares now, and maybe he just cares now because he's in it. But it doesn't matter. What matters is that he cares now. Like, and again, it was the fact that it was another black man dragging on. I'm like, dude, you could have done an article on so many different things that was a positive nature, but you chose to do this article that try to shine a negative light on a person trying to do a positive thing.
Who's to say that he didn't care then? Because when I look at my man, let's be real again, he got camps all he do camps. all the time. He's working with these kids. And maybe again, he just said, listen, I'm tired of them, the PWIs, getting all the athletes and not our people getting athletes. Because I think Deion could have had a job with any institution. He probably could have a job in the NFL. Actually, I believe he was on the NFL Network, probably doing a cushy job.
And let's be real. Florida State has been bad for a while. His alma mater. I'm pretty sure if Deion showed interest in wanting to go there and at worst be a defensive backs coach, come on, Deion. One, you know the recruiting is going to go up because of his name. You know the funding is going to go up because of his name. So, but yet he chose to go to a route that he didn't even choose himself as a student athlete. He didn't go to an HBCU as a student athlete, but yet here he is in his older age, is a little bit more wiser. He has a better understanding of what's going on in the world. And he's like, you know what? I can use my resources to help build a brand for my people.
Oh. Here's a kicker too, real quick. Who's quarterback?
Isn't it his son?
His son. So he brought his son with him. Or his son went with him. So to think that he didn't have the best, like, if I was gonna do some BS stuff, I'm not bringing my kid with me.
Yeah, I'm not gonna drag my kid.
Drag my kid with me. He personally wrote the article again. To me, just sounded like he had a grind, asked to grind. He probably was a fan of some team that Deion didn't go to, something like that. I mean, whatever. But like, he probably was a Hurricane fan or a Florida fan. Like, that's probably what it was back in the day. But yeah, man, to think that Deion has some kind of ulterior motive, man, people just kill me with that. You didn't care then, like you said, man. So like, who
cares?
Who's to say that he didn't care then? And like you said, if he didn't then, who cared? Like, dude, or did you care? Or you like? I ain't seen no article about you writing anything about the black HBCUs not getting the black kids. I didn't see no. So you didn't care then either.
So it was just if this was a white journalist, people would have deemed the article to be kind of racist. But since it's a black man, they're just gonna say, "Oh, he's spitting nothing but facts about Deion." And I'm like, "Yeah, he is spitting nothing but facts about Deion, but this isn't anything that we didn't know already."
Yeah, we knew Deion. Like you said,
his nickname is Prime Time.
One thing about him, he lived up to the name.
Right.
He's lived up to the name.
Yeah, like his nickname is Prime Time, man. That's what he does. He's gonna put on a show, no matter where he goes. The spotlight is gonna be on him. He commands that type of attention, but that doesn't take away from the work that he is doing. And I just felt like that article was just in poor taste.
Yeah, Deion was a two-sport athlete, right?
Yeah, and let's be real. If he had decided to play baseball full time, he probably could have been a Hall of Fame baseball player.
I brought that up because people, you can say what you want. You got to put in work. You got to put in the work. You can be super athletic, but if you're not putting in the work, it's a lot of guys that's super athletic that's playing on blacktops.
Mm-hmm.
They don't put in the work. My man was a two-sport athlete. He put in the work. He played at a high level professionally on both baseball and football. He put in the work, man. He prime time. We will see Jackson State in prime time. Sometime on his tenure, we will see it.
Yeah.
So, hey, I got one more take real quick, and then we can wrap it up. Unless you got another take, Canelo is my man. Is my man reaching GOAT status?
No. Who he fighting?
Listen, the boy he just beat was undefeated. He was champion.
What was his name?
I'm gonna Google it.
My point exactly. My point exactly. He is destroying the people that he's supposed to destroy. There is not any competition for him, and I think that's gonna be the only knock on him when you start talking about good. He got the one blemish on his record, and that was just because he was young and, you know what I mean, wet behind the ears against Floyd. But he don't have no competition. His biggest competition so far has been Floyd, and then the Triple G fights. And let's be real, he handled himself in the Triple G fights. Even if you want to say he lost one of them or whatever you want to say, he handled himself in both of those fights very, very well. He doesn't have any competition, and that's the reason why people aren't going to start talking about him as the GOAT. And then he's unfortunately in this era where these celebrity boxing guys are getting just as much pub as him. These Paul guys, they're taking over this you know what I mean, combat sports right now.
I'll tell you this though, he ain't gonna challenge Canelo.
Oh, they don't. They know where they know where to go and how far to go. Like, Floyd is not a huge puncher, so I'm not gonna be going here and get absolutely knocked out and leave all beaten and bruised up. But I'm probably gonna leave with a few taps, but it's gonna be well worth the money. So
Right.
these guys, they've taken over combat sports, man, and boxing. I didn't want to say it years ago, but I think boxing might be on its last leg, and it's because people are allowing the sport to be watered down with these type of guys, with the Paul guys. There's no way they should be making millions of dollars to fight guys in other sports. Like, he fought a basketball player, and then he fought a retired, out of shape MMA fighter. Like, come on. And he's making millions of dollars. Yeah, the sport of boxing is on its last leg, man. And they're a lot, and people are supporting it. That's the crazy thing about it. Like, people are mad with the Paul kid, but hey, people are buying it. People are supporting it. So I can't get your money, Jake Paul, whatever your name is. Get your money, man. I'm not gonna hate on another man's money, man. Get your money. If people are gonna go out and support it, get your money. Ain't no different than trash music. If people are buying it, keep doing your thing. People obviously want to buy it.
He's the best boxer in the sport right now.
It's not even close.
He
might have to go. Canelo might have to go up to heavyweight to find competition. He might be in there. He might be in that Roy Jones situation where he might have to go up to heavyweight to find competition.
Don't do that. Don't do that, Canelo. I mean,
man, who up there gonna beat him besides Tyson?
I mean, listen.
Tyson the only one. He'll beat the brakes off of Anthony Joshua. He will beat the brakes off of Anthony Joshua.
And Deontay Wilder.
He'll box Deontay Wilder head off.
The only one, again, Tyson.
Tyson is the only one.
6'9".
And he got true boxing skills. I don't think Joshua takes boxing serious enough, because I really think that he feels as though his skill set and abilities is superior to everybody's. You know what I mean? Young, athletic, moves real well, good punching power with both hands. I don't think he takes it serious. We're gonna find out just how serious Anthony Joshua takes boxing when he fights Tyson in Saudi Arabia.
Why?
So, that's when we're gonna.
You're about to get knocked out.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if he gets destroyed, like, let's be done with Anthony Joshua. Let's move on. And then I'm gonna start putting it out there, man. I need to see a Tyson versus Canelo fight. That's the only thing I want to see. If we're not gonna get Bud versus Errol, I want to see Tyson versus Canelo. Sorry, people.
Yo,
that's the only thing I want to see.
You got my man by a whole foot.
I don't want to see. I do not want to see. If Manny Pacquiao keep fighting, that also continues to show you just how where boxing is. Manny Pacquiao got destroyed. I know people don't want to hear it. He was destroyed by my man. Floyd gave him a boxing lesson. People thought he was going to retire after that. And yet he is still out here beating up young boxers. And they want to tell me that the sport of boxing is in good hands. I don't believe it.
I know Tamon said this a while back. So I'm look. I want to see. I'm not want to see, but I'm looking up real quick because one of the things he said Canelo don't want to fight the Charlos.
Why? I've never been impressed. I've never been impressed with them.
One of them got beat. Like one of
them got beat up, but then he came back and he redeemed himself. He redeemed himself because again, the sport is so watered down that these guys are like, man, this guy ain't got no shot against me. I'm just gonna walk in here, walk him down, and go home. And then you get out there and you're like, oh, this guy got a little bit more skill than I thought. And then you got to try to turn that switch on, and it's hard. But then he came back the next time and he destroyed the guy. So, but Canelo will be both of them up at the same time.
5'11", 5'11" at the same time.
Be both of them up at the same time, man. Stop playing with you. Stop playing with Canelo, man.
5'11", 180. So they'll probably fight middle. If they fight middle, Charlo got no chance. No chance at all. I'm out here trying to put fights together for my man Canelo.
You got to, man. You know, he has zero competition. Back to, Earl or Bud, but they don't want that smoke either.
That's why my man out here with the Dazin, whatever he is.
That's why he
out here destroying all these little Mexican fighters.
Like he broke my man's face, man.
He broke my man's eye. That's why my man Jake Paul never getting in the ring with my man.
He broke my man's face. Like, there's no competition for Canelo, man. There's none. There's zero competition for him.
With a mean uppercut, bro. They stopped the fight.
Bro.
They said my man's career probably over.
Yeah, he's gonna have to go fight a heavyweight to find real competition.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. Well, that's what
and that's what people again. That's what everybody. That's when you say, man, Canelo the GOAT or he wanted to go. People are gonna be like, man, let's go down his list of people that he's fought. He's fought no one, and then people are gonna be like, well, that's just because he's just that good. It's the same way with Floyd. People always said Floyd didn't fight nobody, and I'm like, man, you might want to go Google those names because some of those guys are pretty good. It was just that Floyd was just that much better than him.
Ain't they with Canelo? Like when you look
at Canelo in the same boat.
You look at Canelo record. I mean his history. Like, yo, who are these people? You look at them up. They're like, oh,
they were good.
One loss. Oh, to Canelo. Oh, one loss. Oh, to Canelo. Like,
to Canelo. Like he's destroying. The only difference between Canelo and Floyd is Floyd is gonna make sure that you get 12 rounds of boxing. Canelo is like, nah, I'm gonna get him out of here whenever I feel like I really want to get him out of here.
Yep,
that's the only difference.
And again, I think he held his own. I think Floyd just frustrated him. He was, like I said, he was young.
He was young.
He was in the same spot.
Floyd kept doing pretty much the same thing, and it was frustrating to the point where Canelo started mimicking what Floyd was doing. He started mimicking it. You know what I mean? In the fight, he started mimicking it. But he was just out. It was just a different class of boxer that he was right now. If he was to fight Floyd now, even though Floyd at the same age he was at their first fight, Canelo at the age he is now, he'll beat Floyd.
I legit just said this the other day.
He will beat the living daylights out of Floyd.
The same age he is, Canelo is weird. He will beat the brakes off of Floyd.
He'll beat the living daylights out of Floyd. He's
just a different boxer. He's just a
different boxer now. You know what I mean? He'll beat Floyd now.
Yeah. Canelo a different animal right now, man. He's a different animal.
It looks easy for him. It looks too easy for him.
Yeah, listen, that uppercut hit because the boy was undefeated. Billy Joe Sanders was undefeated. He was a champion. Yeah. That uppercut he hit my man with,
I felt it. I felt it.
Yeah, I was like, man, I thought. Listen, I thought he was gonna come back. I thought, but then they was like, they saw his face. It was like, it's over. He ain't
Yeah,
coming.
it wasn't worth it.
Yeah, it's like that. It's like the uppercut Tank hit Lomachenko with.
Mm.
It's over. It's like finishing more combat, my man.
Yeah, but Tank in the same position where there's not much competition for him down there. Bud in the same position, there's not much competition for him down there. Like, you got Errol, but is that fight ever gonna happen?
So I could say,
Probably
but
not.
Tank put the world on notice when he did the Lomachenko. But then you do have Philip with the Asian boy. I mean, not the Asian boy, the Hispanic boy. Forget the can't think of his name right now. Who could fight Tank, but like you said, is it gonna happen?
Yeah, like that's another thing. Like, is it gonna happen? I've been speaking of boxing. Is it real? Did I really read that Oscar De La Hoya is coming out of retirement?
Yeah, he probably come out of retirement like to do them Tyson fights, them 3 bout fights with those 6 rounds.
And see, and that's the thing. Like, are we trying to get people back into boxing, or are we trying to get them to get away from it? Because you keep putting on these poor exhibition fights. That's not good skill with guys old and over the hill. It's like watching. You ever watched senior PGA golf?
No.
That's kind of what it's like. Like, you're like, man, he used to be really, really good. And every now and again he'll hit one of those shots and you'll be like, yeah, I see why he was one of the goods. And then you're like, oh man, that was terrible. He need to just leave it alone. That's what it was. That's what watching that Roy Jones Mike Tyson fight, you was like, I remember when he used to be real good. And then you're looking like, oh yeah, he is still about almost 60. Maybe you need to stop doing this.
It's funny. Me and my wife was just talking about, like, she was like, man, I wish I could get into her age baseball tournament. And I was like, man, yeah, they got him out there. I mean, at the YMCA. That's where Mike and them need. That's where these boxers need to be. Listen,
Man.
they got senior boxing leagues.
Yeah, like do something like that, but I don't know, man. Boxing is a great sport. It's an exciting sport to watch. It's an exciting sport to be a part of, but it's so watered down now between the politics of it. The freaking scoring be terrible. They'd be all over the place. I'd be watching fights, and I'm like, man, there's no way that guy won 7 rounds. I'm like, there's no way he won 7 rounds. What fight were you watching? But whatever. But there's a big fight tonight with UFC, right?
Yeah, it is. It is one. I can't remember. I don't remember the fight, but I do know it is a big fight with UFC right now.
Before I say a lie, yeah, Oliveira and Chandler tonight.
Okay.
So I might check it out. Oliveira, I didn't watch a few of his fights. He is fireworks, and Chandler's pretty good too. So
that's the one thing I like about UFC. You're gonna fight probably some of the best. That's why a lot of the best have lost because they fight top competition. That's why I like Bones Jones, because he undefeated fighting competition.
Yeah. So,
but listen, like I said, man, we're gonna wrap it up. I ain't got no more takes unless you got something. If not, we can wrap it up with the final thoughts. My final thought would be, based off what you said with the Deion thing. It's crazy that we've been through so much as a people this over the past 2 years. With all the hate, you would think that we would be so united, but we still got so much black on black hate. We still got so much tearing down of our. We get mad when we see one of our own come up. Let me come off the camera. We get so mad when we see one of our own come up. My final thought is that when are we going to stop hating on one another? Stop being with this crab in the barrel mentality and start picking each other up and start pushing each other up. Like, just because I'm down here don't mean that I can't push you to where you want to be. Or even when I'm up here, don't mean I can't grab you and pick you up. Stop pulling each other down and stop kicking each other down. Yeah, I mean, when we're trying to get ahead, we got to stop that. We already got that everywhere else.
Yep.
Other communities, other cultures, they do that, man. Like we talk about the Asians and the Hispanics, they send their people over here. They live 10 in the house because they get the grant, and then they send them home and they send 10 more over here. We send 10 people over here. We probably won't hear from you in 10 years. Like, we gotta stop that, man. We gotta.
I'm with you, bro. My final thought, man, is that it feels good to have a real spring. It feels real good to have a real spring, man. It's warm during the day, or at least is kind of cool during the day, and then cool at night. Like I'm enjoying the spring weather, man. I'm enjoying the spring weather, but also what comes with the spring weather and the warm weather, and now you got the CDC saying about lifting on mask restrictions. Still be proactive, people. Still be proactive. Still trust your gut. If it's telling you to put a mask on and you vaccinated, follow your gut and put that mask on. Better to be safe than sorry.
Absolutely.
But enjoy yourselves, man. It's beautiful out there. Go out and enjoy this beautiful weather. That's what I'm about to do. Go to the soccer game, and I'm gonna probably hit the courts later on and hoop a little bit.
All right. Listen, y'all know what it is. That's our show. If y'all like what y'all see, make sure y'all subscribe to our YouTube channel and our Facebook channel. Our link is in the bio. If you want to join the show, talk about anything, hit us up. But until next time, I'm going to holler at y'all. Speak on it.
Peace.